once again, you're welcome to the 14th edition of the Entrepreneurs Launch. And we have yet another distinguished guest, a classmate of mine, a colleague from way back. I know you're all eager to know who she is. And you're welcome, first of all, Dr. Comfort. Yeah, so our members and the viewers, you know, this is televised. They would like to know who is Dr. Ayikoru Comfort, what is she into, what has been her journey like, and anything regarding that. So,
okay, thank you so much. Are you all able to hear me? Can
Hello,
you hear
guys.
me?
Can we turn attention to her, please?
Are you able to hear me? Because I want to be able to reach up to the last person on that table. Yeah. So, like he introduced, I'm very happy to be here. My name is Ayikoru. I am a medical doctor by profession, and thankfully, I also completed from Bara University. He was my classmate from year 1 up to year 3, but he was doing a different course. So that's how I got to know him, and he left us along the way. Thankfully, I also ended up graduating. So that is who I am in a nutshell. I'm a medical doctor, but on the sidelines, I also run a startup, and I'm sure most of you have heard of it. It's called BuriCare Limited, and we are a MedTech social enterprise based here in Uganda. Our current locations are in Kampala, and what we do is we manufacture baby carriers, 2 different types, one for preterm babies and then one for term babies. So the one for preterm babies, that one is the one that has vital monitoring sensors that is able to pick up the vital signs of the baby and relay it to a mobile app. And it's still under development. We just finished. Actually, we are just from the field as of today. We were doing some data collection for the pro version that we had developed, and it's still ongoing, a lot of research and development and iteration. And then the basic one is already out in the market, and we sell it to mothers at 60,000 Ugandan shillings. So in case there are any mothers in the house, you can reach out to me. Or if you are an aspiring mother, you can also reach out to me. And fathers too. So that is what I do. And on the other sidelines, I also work as a graduate trainee with Infectious Disease Institute in Kampala, and we do a lot of research in digital health technologies. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Ayikoru. Good evening, everyone. I'm Wesley Kambale. I'm a machine learning engineer and Google expert on AI. What I do on a daily is to build the AI that is going to take your jobs and destroy your innovations. So I look forward to achieving that. I'll be rich if I do. But that's not about me today. It's about Dr. Comfort Ayikoru. Well, you've talked about what BuriCare is and what you already have in the market.
Yes.
But we would like to know, as most of us here are, you know, entrepreneurs or innovators, and even those who are trying to, you know, innovate. At what point in your journey, probably as a student or even outside school, did you decide that this is not just a medical problem that you're solving, that it has to be a technology, that it has to be a solution that you're going to put to the market? Because every day, a lot of us, every single day, we, in all our places of work, places of influence, wherever we go, we find problems, traffic, you know, shopping, everything. But at what point do you decide that this problem that I've encountered is not just a problem, I need to solve it? How did you do that?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. I'll just, before I even answer it, I just want to take you through a journey of how we all started and how we started to be able to reach where we are. As BuriCare, this is, as you all know, I am not a I'm not an entrepreneur. Okay, I was not born an entrepreneur. I never went to any entrepreneurship school or did anything related to entrepreneurship. But because of the challenges that I saw on ground, I realized we could actually do something, and that is how we started developing BuriCare. Back in 2020, I unfortunately lost a niece to complications of prematurity. In my hometown, I come from Arua, and there was no neonatal intensive care unit to actually take care of this baby. And as we were being referred to the regional referral, that was when my niece passed on, because we did not even notice that her body temperature had dropped. And by the time we arrived, it was unfortunate that the doctors pronounced the baby dead. That was when I was still in my third year of medical school. So when I returned back to school, I was rotating in the pediatrics rotation, and I realized many mothers that were actually coming to the hospital that gave birth to preterm babies, most times they would lose their babies. And we had very few incubators. I remember there were around 3 incubators by then in the high dependence unit. And then we had these many babies that all needed to be put in the incubators, and it was very hard for the nurses to actually keep removing and then fixing back. And that, because the babies are very delicate, it's very, like, you have to really take care of them in a very delicate way, because anything small can actually cause their death. So that was a challenge that I saw, and I remember sharing it with one of my pediatrics lecturer. I was like, I'm seeing many babies dying. And then there was a time when it rained. That time I was for night duty at in the pediatrics ward. It rained, and that night power went off, and we lost like over 5 babies just dying because there was no electricity to power the incubators. So these are the challenges that I saw with my own eyes, and I realized I could not just sit back, because I had also lost a niece to this particular problem. So I shared it with a few colleagues in my class. I also shared it with my pediatrics lecturer, and she was okay with the idea of brainstorming on a solution. And that's how we started brainstorming solutions of how we can curb this vice. And that is how BuriCare was born, because we did a lot of retrospective research. We went to Google, we read articles about prematurity and its complications. We read articles on World Health Organization, like that are published by World Health Organization and all these. And one thing piqued my interest, and that was kangaroo mother care. We realized many of the articles that spoke about it would say that it's a low-cost intervention that can be done like anywhere to save the lives of premature babies, especially in areas that do not have neonatal intensive care units. So we're like, what if we leverage this kangaroo mother care? Because we tried to find out how mothers were actually doing kangaroo mother care, and realized most of them were doing it, but they would not do it to perfection. And some of them were using dirty clothes to do kangaroo mother care. The clothes that they were using were very light and all these. So it became very hard for them to actually keep their baby warm continuously. So we're like, what if we can innovate around kangaroo mother care? So what we did is we came up with a prototype that allows a mother to do skin-to-skin contact. That is kangaroo mother care between the baby and the mother. And at the same time, this carrier would be able to pick up a baby's vital signs just as an incubator would do. So in the process of a mother doing kangaroo, should be able to continuously monitor her baby's vital signs, and also it would help the healthcare workers to also monitor the baby's vital signs in case there is any derangement. So that is how the whole idea came about. Yeah. And now the next thing was, how can we build this? So that was where we started identifying the team, like which people can we bring on board. I think for now I can stop there.
Okay, thank you. So shall cut this section. Cameraman, make sure we all appear very well in the video.
All right. We good? All right.
Okay?
So thank you for the journey, for the story. Looking at neonatal death in this country, it's a very huge problem. And sorry about your niece. May she rest in peace. But it's been reported that you started this BuriCare with $100. We don't know how true that it is, how it is, but we would like to understand, because when you talk about neonatal death, that is something that needs government intervention, that needs multinational interventions, very huge companies and organizations. Then you start with $100. Really? So how did you go about with $100? What did you put it into? How did you identify the key components to fund, or how did you even get the other components if they were not covered by the $100? And what would that teach us here who want to start this kind of companies about starting lean? Because $100 really is lean. So what can we learn from that?
Thank you so much. One thing I would say is starting a startup is very hard, especially if you have a mind-blowing idea. Sometimes it's very hard for you to convince people to believe in it and actually give you funding. So how we started it was through fundraising among ourselves. So like I said, we came up with a team, because when this idea came, like when I thought of the idea, and then we came together as a group and we brainstormed on the solution. So when we identified the solution that we wanted to go with, we sort of had to prove to people that it actually works. And for you to do that, most times it's very hard if you do not have the resources. So what we did was we fundraised among ourselves. That is all the co-founders that we had brought together. We fundraised among ourselves, and that was how we raised the $300. Sorry, the $100.
$100.
Yes.
Okay.
In Ugandan currency, that's around.
370.
Yes. So that's the amount we
Thousand.
raised to enable us to build our very first prototype. So we built the prototype ourselves. I remember part of the team that I had was a software engineering student and then also a biomedical engineering student. So we're all students, and we brought together our funds to make sure that we build this. And when we built it, it was, of course, we built it using the cheapest means available, because you did not have enough money to build something sophisticated. We just needed to show people that this is real, it actually works. And once we were able to do that, it enabled us to better present what we have, to better present our proposal to different companies. And thankfully, we got saved by one of the companies, that was Total Energies. So that was the very first.
That's quite a good gesture. Total Energy.
Yes, so Total Energies was the very first company that believed in our work and gave us funding to actually bring it to life. So one thing I will just say to many founders out there, or people that want to start, right? Even if you do not have the funding, do your best to make sure that you have something to show, because sometimes the traction that you have on ground is what will make people believe in the work that you do. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Comfort. That's quite impressive, I should say. I mean, starting from 100 USD in Ugandan shillings, I think that's around 370,000.
Yeah.
You would imagine a MedTech of that caliber. I mean, BuriCare is something so big. I remember I was so privileged to see one of its genesis, especially here at Bio University of Science and Technology. I remember you guys appearing in many of the hackathons and competitions. I mean, trying to look for funding, just like another young entrepreneur. So what are some of the challenges that you guys faced? Because someone may look at you and they think the journey has been so smooth from the word go. But personally, I know you shared with me sometime, I think you had gotten REC approval, Research Ethics Committee approval. And you're so happy, and you told me it had taken you close to 2 years. So what are some of those challenges that you faced, and maybe probably how did you go about them so that you saw light of the day in the end?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maleka, for that question. I would just say the very first challenge most entrepreneurs, if not all of you in this room, face is funding. Am I wrong?
All right.
Yeah. So that is also the very first challenge that we faced as we were developing. Even now, because we are expanding, but with expansion comes a lot of resources that are needed, and sometimes it may be very hard for you to break even, like, because the break even comes after a very long period of time, depending on the type of solution that you're building. So most times you may need to have constant flow of income, and sometimes it's not easy, especially if not many people still know about what you do. So that has been one of the biggest challenges that we have, like inadequate funds to push us, and the fact that this is a medtech that we're developing. Some of the components that we need sometimes are not even available within Uganda. So you have to find ways of bringing them, or you have to partner with different companies in different countries. And all those things, it translates into costs. So that's a major challenge that we have faced mostly. But how we have overcome it is, with the little that we get, we try as much as possible to show traction for it, and show like we build something to make people believe that actually even the little money that we have gotten at hand, we are translating it into something impactful. So that is through the manufacturing of our basic devices, basic carriers that we are currently selling to the mothers. And we have gotten a lot of positive feedback from mothers, and also constructive ones at that, to improve on the current designs. So that alone in itself is traction that can make people believe that, yeah, this is a credible company. And for most funders, what they want to see is credibility. If we give you $100,000, are you going to do the work that you're supposed to do? So they want to see the organizational structure. Do you have credible people working there? Are your finances okay? Is your administration okay?
Talking of credibility, does
Yes.
that root into the team you have as well? The expertise,
Yes.
multidisciplinarity.
Yes. So you have to have a very good team that actually qualifies to be in whatever position that they have been assigned to. So all these things, funders look out for them, and then they also look out for whether the company is registered. Most times, many people actually don't get funds because they do not have registered companies in Uganda. Why would someone want to entrust you with money if they can't even, like, if you don't even have registration in Uganda? So one of the first steps you need to take is make sure you are registered legally in Uganda, and you abide. Yes, incorporated legally, and you abide by the rules. So if you are a for-profit, that means there are certain things that you're supposed to fulfill as a for-profit, including compliance with taxes and all the other regulatory bodies, and getting a trading license. All those things, you need to work hand in hand with a lawyer that can guide you to do that. Me, I'm not a lawyer, but at least right from the start, we got a lawyer to help us.
You have someone,
yes,
a legal team.
We have our legal team that has been helping us to solve that issue, that part of the whatever the company.
Okay, maybe just to cut you short.
Yes.
There has been this myth amongst young entrepreneurs whereby they say they don't want to start by being legal. I mean, being formalizing structures, because it also comes with expenditures. I mean, I'm just setting out, and I don't seem to have the resources. But I know when I register, okay, it could be a myth. You would give us your view. Maybe if I register as I start, or even before I start, they'll start imposing taxes on me. But I mean, I'm not making anything out of what I'm starting right now. So what's your take on it? Because I understand I actually personally faced a hardship there's a grant I missed because one of my ventures wasn't legally incorporated. So they told me, how do we trust you? You're just a young man. What if we give you money and you just put it in women? They were playing, and they told me that. And of course I wasn't happy, but thinking about it, cogitating wider on that issue made me realize that if I was to put myself in their shoes, maybe I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have given the money as well.
Yeah.
So what is your take? There is always that myth. I would like to call it a myth because I used to have the same mindset until I experienced it firsthand. So what is your advice or take on that? Because if I asked around, how many of us have registered ventures? Everyone is shaking their heads. They are saying nay. So what's your take on that?
That's a very interesting question. I'll just say this as someone that sees long term. Okay, if you see and you believe in the vision that you have as a founder or a co-founder, and you have this venture or this idea that you want to push forward, I would always advise that you register it. There are two ways you can do the registration. You can go the for-profit route or the non-profit route. For social enterprises, they can take either of the two because currently Uganda only has for-profit or non-profit. But because now for us, our company is a social enterprise, you get, we had to take the for-profit route, yes, but the impact we want to see is we want to see the community helped at the same time. So even if we get the profits, we reinvest them into the business, you get. But because we have registered as a for-profit, it also comes with its own implications. So that is what you have been talking about. And for that particular one, I would say this: Uganda, for all newly registered businesses, there is a tax exemption for 3 years. You just need to get the right lawyers to guide you so they can exempt you from paying taxes. And even after the 3 years are done and you're not making profits, they will not make you pay as long as you show them your audited books, right? They will not tax you for profits that you're not making. So I will still tell you to go ahead and register those businesses legally in the event that you plan to apply for funding, even if it is national or international, because they will want to see those registration papers. There are a few grants out there that offer funding for people that have ideas, but then when they give you that money, they expect you to grow into the extent, grow and also be able to register the business. So as you are thinking of all this, I'll just tell you my best advice is register and see what next. Yeah.
All right, thank you about that. Guys, let's go and register those companies. But as we go to register companies, I have a question. I want to take you back to what you said about forming the team. You have this idea, and then you start reaching out to a software engineer, biomedical engineer, and all that. And then you assemble what we would call the Avengers to build BuriCare. But then the question would be, a lot of us seated here, one of the reasons that I think why we are not going or progressing to the limits where we're supposed to go is we ride solo. So I have an idea, and it's my idea, and I'm riding solo with it. I'm the PR, I'm the secretary, I'm the finance, I'm the ED, I'm the messenger, I'm everything. You find me writing emails, you find me communicating with people. If I get money, I'm the one, accounting for it. How do you sit down and say, okay, guys, I have this idea, I have this dream. And for a dream that is as big as, solving something that affects our community, you must want to put it in trusted hands, people that you think will drive it, forward. How did you arrive at selecting your team? It's not about the multidisciplinary aspect of it. That just because you need a software engineer, then I'll get a software engineer. Just because you need an accountant, you have a CPA come and... No, getting the right people. For instance, how did you get Miss Prudence here? What drove you to having her on the team?
Because you guys are besties.
Yes.
That's a very tricky question, but I'll say this. Forming a team is not easy, especially when you are just starting, because the idea may be very crazy and fun and all that, and everyone wants to get, like anyone that you share it with wants to be part of the team. But when it comes to the real implementation, that is where you see people's real colors, because some of them will start withdrawing and they leave you. So when we started, like I said, I reached out to a few people, and some of them I got them through referrals, people that had worked with them before, like Stephen Chibande. I'm sure some of you know him.
Yeah.
How I got him on the team was through a referral, and he was one of the best electrical engineers that we had on our team, because he had a lot of skill sets, and he also helped us get other people on the team, including our current biomedical engineer. So how we arrived to getting the current team that we have has been through a lot of efforts. And also we have had to lay off some people because they were not doing what they're supposed to. Sometimes you find yourself, now like when we started, we were quite a number, and we were quite a number, and then we went on and we started working on other things, and some people were not giving in, like they were not giving their time. You can just see, like, there are people that do not follow the vision of the company, and you can see that from the work that they do. Even if you give them assignments, some of them will not do it. So we had to sit down and make constitutions that govern us, that govern us, and in case anyone goes against them,
No matter who you are.
yes, no matter who you are laid off. That was how we were able to harmonize the team. And now the people that we currently have on ground are people that deliver, and the people that actually work hard, that have worked hard to get us to where we are right now. Yeah.
All right, maybe another question from me, and this time we go back to the product itself. So you've talked about, like, for instance, accessing the hardware components of this. We know that it has sensors. You know, you have sensors, you have to monitor temperature, oxygen levels, pulse rate. How did you overcome, and what are the challenges that you've had to overcome building medical hardware in these low resource settings? I mean, this was inspired in Arua, so it would be maybe expected that you started this or even tried it out maybe in Arua or even Mara here, but still low resource setting. How did you overcome the challenges that you faced? But also, as you do overcome those challenges, there is another follow-up question. Once you have this prototype up and running, how then do you get to balance affordability? Yes, because you have sensors, you have ABCD, you have assembled the team, and this is going down to our mothers in the villages who may not be able to afford this, solution. How do you afford affordability, balancing clinical accuracy for the product itself, the cost, and the scalability? Because now it's hard for you to acquire the hardware. How do you get to scale? As you scale, how do you maintain the accuracy of the product and then the costing of the product? Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I will start with the first question.
Yeah.
I speak, and then you re-ask me the second question again in case I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the part of, what was the first question?
The hardwares, the challenges in
yeah.
building this medical
So
hardware.
one of the things is that the very first design that we had, we did not have some components initially. And the reason for that was because we did not have enough networks and links as to where we can actually get these. So we had to ship some of them from abroad, and only after shipping, that was when now we got connected. Because the good thing is, as you grow as an entrepreneur, as you go out and network with people, you meet with various kinds of people. You meet with people from different parts of the world. And sometimes when you share your issues with them, they can actually tell you solutions that were just near you that you did not see. So that is how we overcame that challenge. And then for the part of the building of the product, so we built a working prototype from Uganda here that was working. But now the challenge was Uganda currently lacks an ISO certified manufacturing company. and this is a medical device that we want to test out in humans. So ideally,
Clinical trials.
yes. So ideally, we're supposed to first certify it before we even take it into the market. We even use it for our studies. So one thing we had to do was get an ISO certified manufacturing company to help us with manufacturing the baby carriers. And that was not easy because we first got a link from another China company. We're working with a Chinese company initially, but then we could not proceed because they were only working with a lot of numbers. For us, we wanted few to just do our studies. For them, they want like 1,000 copies. So we did not have the finances to do that. And the fact that it's still in the research stage, it wouldn't make any sense. So we got connected to another company in Kenya through a professor from MIT that one of our biomedical engineers met on one of the conferences. So he was like, there's a company in Kenya that actually does ISO certified manufacturing, and he wants to connect us to them. And that is how we got connected to Gearbox Europlacer Limited. They are based in Nairobi. And since then, they have been the ones in charge of developing our product from where we left it up to where we currently are. So there's been a lot of back and forth between my team and their team to ensure that the product meets all the regulatory requirements to be able to bring it out in the market. So I think that's majorly how we overcame that challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, the other was about affordability. How do you get to balance?
Okay.
Yeah.
So about the affordability part, right now we actually cannot really sit and say we are costing this device at this price because we are still doing a lot of studies around it and also seeing which components best work and stuff like that. But one thing I would say is the whole idea of us bringing this is we want continuous vital sign monitoring as mothers are doing kangaroo. And that means in places that don't have incubators, such things would actually be used. So that means if you're to compare the price of an incubator to what we currently have or what we will be offering, it's actually way cheaper to do it. But how we intend to make it affordable is through partnering with the government and NGOs, such that they are the ones that procure it from us and then they deliver it to these mothers. So there is going to be like some form of cost reduction. So we have tried to start those engagements, especially with the government, to see how in the long run they can take it up.
Okay. As maybe last one from me now, for now. So you talk about government, partnering with the government.
Yes.
Now, we all know our government. Just a few hours ago, our government that is at the forefront or pretending to be at the forefront of AI has contracted a Kenyan firm to regulate AI in Uganda. The question is, don't we have AI people? I mean, I'm seated here, right? So now, when you talk about government, I want to talk about priorities. We have undeniably very high neonatal death in the country. This is alarming. This is a very huge concern for anyone. But our government often has its own priorities, its own timelines in operating. If you are planning to say, I want to go through the government, and then the government has to get the product, and then I'll push it to the mothers, how are you going to how do you think you can navigate that? Or how do you think any one of us would be able to navigate that? Because now you're interfacing with the government. I haven't. Maybe other entrepreneurs haven't. But how are you trying to see that you get your solution becoming a high priority for the government and these NGOs?
I think one thing I know about the government of Uganda, yes, if you take the route of the government, of course, it's going to be very long. That we already know.
Yeah.
So that means for you to even get your product to be considered as high priority, you should have had a lot of back and forth with them.
Yeah.
But another thing is, for you to be able to do that, then you have to show them beyond doubt that this is actually what you need. And sometimes they may not want to buy in immediately, but when they see that you are constantly doing work on ground, and for us, we are not going to be limited. If the government does not want to support us yet, we shall still continue to do what we're supposed to do. And the good thing is, it's not only Uganda that has issues with neonatal mortality. There are other African countries or even other Asian countries that have issues with prematurity. So the good thing, we have some partners, some of the funders that we have currently are funding programs across the whole of Africa and Asia. So we are trying to get them on board to see how we can collaborate. So when you collaborate with these international companies, then it enables you to widen your scope. So you're not only focusing on Uganda, even if Uganda does not want to take you now, if they see that your product is being used in other countries and they're actually getting a lot of good review from it, then that is when they will start putting their fingers or pointing at you and wanting to know exactly what you do. So I think that has been how I run some of my things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in short, the doctor here is saying that if it doesn't work in Uganda, funa visa, right? Yeah, funa visa.
I'll just say, keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Your traction will speak for you. People will look for you.
Yes. All right. All right. This is going to be the last one, really. So, so, no, it's important because every single year, I have to read the venture capital markets and the funding that is coming in. We have an investor here, so he knows
can
what
invest
happens.
in mine.
Exactly. So I always look at the numbers that we are attracting in the market in Uganda vis-a-vis our neighbors in Kenya, Rwanda, Nigeria, South Africa, and of course we are at the bottom, the very bottom in terms of the money that comes in. You said that your very first funders, for so many of us here, it would be a blessing, it would be a miracle that your first funder is Total Energies, right? And of course, after Total Energies, you've gone to work with other different organizations and now the government. How do you get to convince these funders? How do you get to convince venture capitalists that, look, this social enterprise MedTech company is worth it, but also it's going to be commercially sustainable? Of course, you haven't gone to the market as a full-time business. You're still doing research. You're still trying to see, if I go to the market, how much am I going to price this device? But how are you trying to convince people that this is really going to be commercially sustainable in our setting?
Okay, that one is quite interesting. I'll just say this. One of the things that most funders see first before anything is the team that you have. Yeah, so they want to see who is responsible for what and what kind of leader you are, because sometimes some of the funders actually fund some startups because they believe in the founder or the co-founder. So that person has to be so visionary to the extent that someone actually believes in what you're doing, your story, and what, like, you yourself, if you are to stand and speak, let's say I stand and speak to you about my story, am I able to convince you to actually fund me? So that's one of the things that most funders look at, the team that you have, and then also they go and check your financials or like just your organization structure. So they want to see whether this is, even if you have that team on ground, do you have the structures in place to be able to scale this? Can we, if we are to trust you with $1 million US, do you have the team? Do you have the resources to be able to fund this? So that means you have to have all your papers, like in case you are for profit, what is the percentage of equity? Like how many co-founders do you have? The equity,
you need to have your traction.
you need to have everything in place, because they will ask for all those documents before someone even makes a decision to fund you. So that's what I would just make sure that you have all those documents. There is a checklist that you can usually include in your pitch deck. and also the traction, like the pitch deck usually has the section where you have traction, where you came from and where you're going, and then the financial projections. So you have to have all those things, and you have to be able to communicate them in a way that someone actually understands and is willing to invest in that particular company.
Okay, thank you very much. You've spoken about teams and reminded me of a saying by a wise man. I think they say that funders fund teams, not ideas, because for them they believe that ideas are cheap, but execution is everything. And
True.
in this case scenario, who executes? Of course, the team, right?
Yeah.
So you spoke of kangaroo care, and something ran in my mind, Kanga Care. Some innovation I used to hear of a couple of years ago. So I don't know if it's the same or this is a new version of Kanga Care, and if it is, what inspired or motivated the shift in brand from Kanga Care to BuriCare, in case it's the same. Yeah. So
Okay. Thank you for that question. So Kanga Care is just, it's a formal name for BuriCare.
okay.
And the reason why we moved was because, okay, when we were coming up with a name, we came up with different suggestions. And of course, the initial name that we had was Kangaroo. So we're like Kanga Care, something like that.
Okay.
But when we came to register in the company, we realized there were like 10 companies that had similar names.
Something like
Kanga Care,
Okay.
Kangaroo. Even there's a company that has Kanga Care in the US. And if you are a business and you try and use that particular name, you are infringing on their rights, their IP rights. So that means they can sue you, and we cannot afford to make such mistake.
Yeah, especially
So-
at this level.
Yeah. So we had to go back to the drawing board and come up with a different, unique name, and that was how BuriCare came about.
Okay.
But it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's another issue that we need to navigate as young entrepreneurs, because you have your unique brand, then you go to your RSB, and then they change, they tell you that this name is already existing, but you believe that is the name that communicates your vision to the public. You get?
Yeah.
So maybe that's something we shall tackle someday. So I understand I've known you for quite a while, and you've always been that outgoing person, and that is exceptional, not for everyone, yeah? So we are in a burgeoning era where things are actually rapidly changing, and I understand this is an era where people still stigmatize women, and they still consider women as minors. So how can a young lady entrepreneur, we have quite a number here, like you know, any of these, or even you, I know you're kind of out of that stage, but you've been one before. So how can a young lady entrepreneur make a breakthrough? I mean, make it to the table, and amid these other challenges women go through in this kind of stigmatizing society, much as it has reduced, because you know many people have come out to fight that, and I've seen you do that on multiple platforms to break that yoke and stigma for putting women in the minority kind of bracket. So how can a woman make it out to your level, or even better? Because you've heard from the introductions that many are aspiring to be like you, or even better. Yeah.
I think one thing that has helped me is I am a very curious person, and I am very bold. In case I want something,
You
I
must
will,
make it happen.
yes, I'll do everything in my power, as long as it is legit. It's not like dirty. Yeah? I'll do everything in my power to make sure that I get it. So as a young female entrepreneur, what I can say is, if you put your mind to something, make sure that you go all the way in to make it happen. Sometimes it may be frustrating in the field, especially when you are just the only lady out of like 10 gents, and you have to like really go put yourself out there, tell them this is what I do, and this and this. That alone, that boldness is what actually gets people interested in what you're doing. And another thing that has helped me is, for you to be able to put yourself out there, then you need to know, you need to have the knowledge. So you have to continuously keep teaching yourself. I never learned business in school. I'm still learning.
Okay.
Yes, so I've had to take some courses on financial management, on business management, project management, and all these are things that I believe have helped to push the company to where we are, including grant writing. Right now, I can say I'm not the best grant writer, but I can write a grant and actually win it. So, but for me to get where I am right now, it took a lot of time and effort. It took a lot of times when I wrote grants and was rejected several times. So all those things build you up. As it doesn't only go to the ladies, even the gentlemen themselves. Just keep teaching yourself how to do some of these things, because it gives you the confidence when you are standing in front of multitudes as you're talking. In case they ask you anything intimidating, you're able to stand and affirm to them that I know my stats, I know that what I am doing, and I know what I'm talking about. That there gives you power, and that power is what actually pushes you forward as a woman.
So
Thank you.
more of like progressive improvement.
Yes.
Okay, so you and I have been in a couple of innovation workshops, cafes, competitions, but you've seen that the ratio of ladies to gents in such platforms has always been quite small. Yeah, you find that where you find maybe 50 gents, you can only find 2 ladies attending, and it means if an investor was in the house and they're like, I think I have this opportunity, but I need 50% women and then 50% men. You find that the men are fighting for the slots, but the women are already few. So what brings about that inequality? I mean, how can we break that kind of disparity in this era? Because women are not taking up these opportunities. To me, I've been on many fora, and what I've seen to the baseline, it feels like maybe showing up alone is something that can actually elevate a woman to an opportunity. What is your take on that?
I think many times, like you said, very many women actually in our societies, the way we are brought up, or previously the way women were brought up was in a way whereby most times they get suppressed, or most times their voices are not heard.
Okay.
But I would say this: before I started being more talkative and all that, I used to also feel inferior whenever I would be in gatherings like this. It was hard for me to raise my voice. But one thing that helped was the teachers that I had back then, they want everyone to speak. So there's no way you can avoid speaking. And that is how you start getting your voice. So I think in most of these classes, or in most of the spaces that people are, or women are, giving them more opportunities to speak even when they don't want is one thing that can elevate them. Personally, it did for me, because I used to be very bad at public speaking.
Yeah,
Like
I remember.
I would stand and speak on stage. But right now, even though I still have it, you cannot see it from, like, even though I feel scared right now, you cannot know that I'm scared, because I've managed to overcome that. And I think that is one thing that most people ought to do, especially in universities. So that should be a responsibility that is on teachers and lecturers and even fellow students.
The peers,
Yeah, the peers.
Okay.
Encourage your quiet friends to speak often. Give them speaking opportunities, because that's when they get to air out their views. Yeah,
Okay, thank you very much. So Spartan, you have a question, right? Okay, I'll get to you as you conclude, then you go to the members. So I have seen you at different platforms, and by the way, it has been, guys, you need to give her flowers. She has traversed borders. She has been on those lists that where we wish to be. She has just been recently on the Forbes list, under 30 Africa for women. This is where everyone would want to be. I can see everyone is like, yeah, I mean,
You know what Forbes
guys, Forbes. That's why we find the Jay-Z's, I mean, the Elon Musks. So she has been there, and many more other opportunities that she's going to share with us. So we've already talked about how someone can position themselves to actually garner these opportunities, but now some people don't actually know the opportunities. that opportunities exist to start with. So what are some of the opportunities young entrepreneurs like them and I could actually utilize, and where can they find them? I mean, sometimes you can be here, but when you don't know something is actually happening in your niche that you need to explore, and maybe at the end of the day, find funding. Yeah. So what are some of the opportunities young entrepreneurs can actually explore, and where can they find them?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. One thing I'll say is the first opportunity that you have is the people around you, because sometimes you get to hear information from them, like how some of you heard about this gathering today through a friend that invited you. So that in itself is an opportunity. And then from there, you get to even meet investors. There are some places where you can just go and meet very many people, and you never know the person that you're seated next to could be the one that is investing in your business next. And then another way I'll just tell you how I have managed to get some of the opportunities is through social media. Right now, I know all of you have WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, and whatsoever. So I utilize those spaces a lot, and I also utilize some websites and some WhatsApp groups. I mean, a WhatsApp group that he put me in, Mass Innovation Hub, right? Yes. So where he shares a lot of opportunities, scholarships, entrepreneurship, and all those things. You can get them from there. And then there are some websites like Opportunity Desk, Opportunities for Africans, Scholarship Set. All those guys, all those things have opportunities that you can click. In case you are eligible, you apply. So that's how I have been navigating that. And then also LinkedIn alone has helped me quite a lot, because I've gotten a lot of opportunities through LinkedIn, and that has helped to also elevate me and my brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So today, speaking of Mass Innovation Hub, it's quite a platform that has helped many. I get a lot of testimonies from people how they have garnered scholarships and finding opportunities. But then today I was stormed by someone who actually applied to a fake opportunity, which definitely wasn't shared on the platform, but they didn't know. They found it somewhere, I don't know. So how can someone really, of course I felt hurt that this person didn't consult me before applying. They put in 300 USD. It may seem to be little money, but they lost it. And this guy was remorseful about it. But again, the money is gone. Yeah. So how can someone actually differentiate between an authentic opportunity and that which is a scam?
Basically, we are talking about three BuriCare as well.
Three startups of BuriCare are gone because we started with 100 USD. And the person was actually weeping in my inbox. So how can someone draw the line between a scam and an authentic opportunity?
That's a very hard question, but one thing I know is when you get these links, most times it's upon you to do your due diligence. You don't just apply to anything. Go on their website, search. Go on their website, go on other platforms where anything about them is posted, and also do your due diligence. That is what I usually do. And then I also try and see if they have past events before, like whether it's an annual event, and if it's annual, are there past winners? So I try to go and check whether they are past winners, and in case they're there, I reach out to some of them through LinkedIn to guide me on application. So those are the ways that I have tried to like check the credibility. But of course, I have had chances where I have been scammed before.
Tell us about that, because hey,
But they
everybody
only,
go
I
chop
was
breakfast.
only scammed $10.
Only $10.
Yeah, only $10.
$10 is actually a lot of money.
Yeah, by then,
only.
because I was still a student, I was still in third year, I applied with her, and they took her money.
You guys will come together.
That's why you're still together.
Okay, yeah. So
So those platforms are there. Some of these people, actually, after that scamming, I was like, if there ever comes an opportunity where I have to first pay money, I will not apply for it. And thankfully, it has helped me a lot, because most of those guys that are scammers, what they want to do is they want to scam you into putting money in things. So they'll be like, you first register for this thing, and then you get the opportunity. There are few organizations that are actually credible and do those things. But even though you are a credible organization and you're asking me for money before I even get into the program, I don't apply. And that has really helped me a lot. So if you don't want to get scammed like me, yeah.
All right. So maybe for purposes of those who are here and those who will listen later, the beauty about being born or living in a third world country is that where these opportunities, especially scholarships and opportunities for conferences and all that, where they come from, they have a pretty good idea of the situation here. So if there is an application for a scholarship that is asking you for $300, it's straight up a scam. Straight up. Because yes, it's straight up a scam, because most of the universities, the only time they will ask, they are giving you a scholarship, so the only time they're asking for money, it should not exceed $50, and that's usually the application fee. And even then, the application fee can be waived. You can still communicate to the graduate admissions office, and they will take it off.
Yeah.
You explain to them, tell them, man, I'm from Bara. I'm from Bara. Can you see it on your map? Eh? And then they will take it off. So please be careful on that. But
just to
yeah.
actually, just this morning I had applied for, I sent an application for an abstract for a conference that's supposed to happen in London. And we thought it was a credible site, so I sent in the application yesterday. And usually such conferences, they take up to like a month to even get back to you.
Or at least 3
Yes. And I just got the email this morning that my abstract was accepted and I have to register. And registration comes with paying their registration fee. So,
confirmed, at
yeah,
least.
yes. So I paused on it. I was excited, but I started having question marks like, why have they just accepted my abstract very fast?
What if you're the best in the...
So now, that was the first question that came in my mind. But in my mind, I was like, at the end of today, I'm going to register for this conference. And then along the way, I received a call from an unknown number that has a Kenyan code, and it was at +254. So when I pick up the call, it was an Indian person's voice, and they were telling me to go and register. To go and register for the conference. Then I told them, it's fine, I'm going to register for this conference. But after I ended that conference, that was when I realized this is actually very suspicious and it may not be legit. So sometimes you have to don't act immediately when such instances happen. Take your time, do your due diligence, and then act when you are informed. Yeah.
All right. So back to BuriCare. Before we get into questions with our audience here, I would like us to paint a picture in the future. And to me, my future is nothing less of AI. I'm not seeing a future right now where AI is not dominant in everything. So there is this rise in AI in healthcare.
Yeah.
Where do you see the biggest opportunities for African innovators as we are seated here? Is it in, for instance, diagnostics? Is it in monitoring? Is it in health access, providing access to so many tools that could probably help mothers or even fathers themselves? Do you see it in, for instance, data systems? Where do you see AI influencing healthcare? Where should we put, our 2 cents? And where do you also see AI in BuriCare?
Okay, so I will start with, where do I see AI in BuriCare?
Yeah.
At the moment, we have a mobile app that communicates with our baby carriers. So it picks up the vital signs. The carrier picks up the vital signs and then relays it to the mobile app, where a doctor can use it for remote monitoring, especially when in instances where the mother is far away from the hospital, or in case the doctor is monitoring very many babies in the hospital and he or she is alone. So we are looking at incorporating AI into our mobile device, the app, whereby it will enable us to analyze some of these signals and also help us in decision making. So all those possibilities that we're currently discussing, actually in the next version of our carriers that we'll be doing our studies with, it will have a component of AI.
Okay.
So that will also call for collaboration, because I know that you're an AI guru.
All right. So data is quite important today. It's as much as gold or oil in the world that we are in today. How important do you think data is going to be, given that we come from a country or society where our data is still paper-based, but now you have to, for instance, the devices you're building, they have to send data, and I believe that data is being monitored in digital systems.
Yeah.
So how important is that data in improving maternal and newborn health outcomes, and what data gaps do you think still exist for now that we need to solve in the future?
Okay. So particularly most of our systems within Uganda, most of the systems within Uganda, we are in between analog and digital. So you find some places are still using paper-based things to do data collection, and then others are using digitized methods to do it. But where we are going, I'm seeing Uganda transforming into a fully digital system, especially in healthcare. Because currently where I'm working with IDI, we are trying to digitize immunization systems. So we have a system that tracks immunization of children.
The records,
Yeah, the records, everything is done digitally. And that information there is very important because it helps with planning, like healthcare planning of the government, and also helps to predict in the event that there are certain things that may happen. Such information is used to actually help to plan better for our health systems, and then also help to predict for future events that may happen. So I think data is quite useful, and we really ought to go into digital, like digitalizing everything. Yeah.
Okay. Just before we go into the questions, I believe everyone almost has a question. For the members that came late, should I say apologies that you guys missed? But it has been and still is an insightful session, just like you can see. So me personally, this is a personal question, but I feel maybe it concerns all of us.
Yeah.
I feel bad when I see young ladies with big ideas, just like it sounds, not trying to get out of the nutshell to garner these opportunities. So, but sometimes in one way or the other, they get out. Maybe someone can spot you out. For example, you're seated in here, maybe one of the speakers, for example, you could be like, I'd like to see all the ladies in MedTech. Maybe I have a small grant. In case you're serious with the innovation, I could onboard you. That could be one way. But then there's also that one way that you've talked about of getting out of the nutshell and then picking up to look out for funding, networking. You know that you can be in a conference and someone after a conference, they are not networking, they go for tea, they're on their phone until the next session comes in. So that is also something that people need to actually work on.
Sure.
So which ways can someone actually try to get out of their comfort zone, I should say, to network, because that's where opportunities come from.
Yeah.
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 And then the other thing, you can just address it together. when I get to the table, how do I make sure that I stay on the table? Because sometimes you get on the table and you leave, and then you're regretting all the time. And by the table, I mean, there's a time I was in an elevator with someone I always wanted to talk to. It even took us like 2 minutes, but I just greeted. But maybe by that time I was an amateur, I should admit. And I missed to pitch my idea to that person. Yeah, because this person is actually the one who greeted me instead of the other way around. So when someone gets to the table, how do they make sure that they stay to the table, stay on the table, and even garner many more opportunities, yeah, to grow? Because I believe that is something you've done perfectly well, or you believe you're going to do better, but at least you've done it to a great extent. Yeah.
Let me start with the last question. So particularly for that, how I have managed to, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, I'm also still improving myself.
Work in progress.
Work in progress. But one thing I usually do is before I go for any event, I try and go through the list of people that are going to come there. So what I learned was be intentional, do intentional networking. It's not that it's not like in case you come for this event you should talk to everyone. No, sometimes networking takes a lot of energy and you need to be prepared to do that. So when I know I don't have that energy to talk to as many people as possible, most times what I do is I look at the list of the speakers or the people that are coming for that particular event.
The big dudes.
Yes, and I look at the ones that align with what I do or I want to get in touch with. So those are the ones that I identify. I don't identify many, I just need like 2 or 3 connections. So during that whole period when I'm there, I read about them, I read about the work that they do, and then I go for that event when I know the people that I actually want to talk to. So it is easier for me to approach someone and I already have questions that I want to ask them, or I already have a way I'm going to start talking with them. So that's one way I usually...
So you more of like map out...
Yeah, I map out the people that I want to talk to. And then another thing, when you are for such gatherings, one way of getting attention is by asking questions. I'm not saying ask
irrelevant
questions.
So that spins into knowing the area of interest for that particular person.
So you know the area of interest, and then also when the person is speaking or giving a speech or giving their presentation, listen attentively, because that's where your questions are going to come from. So when you listen, you'll be able to map out a few questions, and when that session is done, it's easier for you to ask those questions. And most times it's hard for such people to forget you because they will know that you're the one that asked. So if after that session, it's easier for you to go up to them and tell them, hey, I was really impressed by what you're doing. Now you give them a background of what you do and stuff like that. And in the event that they give you their business card, how you will reach out to them will be, in case they forget you, you'll be like, I am so and so, the person who asked a question in your session at this event. So it's easier for them to remember you. So that is how I have been navigating that. And then the other question was about...
How do you stay on the table when you get there?
That's what I've been talking about.
So
the young women.
Yeah, the young women. How can young women get out of a nutshell? Because most of them, those I've seen, they have big ideas, but they don't take a step to get out of a nutshell, to look for further fun, to be maybe vigorous, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing I've seen, I have had a chance to interact with Western African people, like when I was doing my master's, and believe me, those people are aggressive because they know where they come from. And I wish Ugandans were as aggressive as Nigerians. Because those guys go for the opportunity. So one of the ways I think young women can overcome that, one thing is mentorship. Because if you get a very good mentor, that person can actually help you get out of your nutshell. So you just need to identify, if you know that you have a weakness as a lady or as a man, and you have this weakness of being shy or what, and you want to improve your skills in a certain area, identify a few people that can actually mentor you in that particular field and reach out to them. People that can make you grow as a person. So these people, sometimes some of them accept, some of them may be too busy and may refer you to other people. But in such instances, when you become a mentee with them, make sure that in your interactions, you bring out some of these challenges and they help you overcome them. And then also, like I said, just go out there. Don't want, like you said, if you lock yourself in a room, you'll never get opportunities. Even if you do not have that zeal, sometimes force yourself to go for some activities or some programs, because you never know where your next help may come from. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. As I conclude, so you've talked about mentors, and I remembered one of my colleagues here told me his strategy of reaching out to mentors. Of course, first of all, you need to draw for us the line between mentors and supervisors.
Yeah.
Because a mentor, okay, you tell us the difference. So for him, his strategy is that when he's looking for a mentor, maybe out of the country, he can map out like 20 and send them emails. And out of the 20, maybe 5 will accept to be mentors, to mentor him. So, but in that process, which I've also tried out, and it has actually worked for me, I can't be 100% effective in a way that you're going to get some cold emails that are going to break you down, especially for those. Of course, you have categories. You have the people you really want to be part of those that give you a positive kind of feedback. So how do I navigate a cold email? Because personally, my first cold email broke me down. I know I've always called myself a hard guy, but that time, it really broke me down.
Is it only a cold email or even rejections?
Or even rejections. Yeah, so you can summarize and then we can go to the questions. But before that, how many have questions? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we shall go in this order. Yeah, so
about rejections, it's not always easy. Sometimes I've gotten, I think the number of rejections I've gotten is like coming to 1,000 probably, because I've
1,000?
I don't know, but I've applied for so many things and I've been rejected so many times. But one thing, and the very first ones actually broke me down, because you really put your energy and efforts into something and you're like, this is going to be good, like this is
like
it.
you see it coming.
Yes.
You see it coming.
And then you find that cold email with, unfortunately, we're unable to. Of course, you break down because you're a human being. But one thing I realized was, after the first few rejections, when I got my first, when I got the first email of congratulations, blah, 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 I was really excited. And that excitement really, like, I was so excited to the extent that I forgot about the other rejections. And then the next time when I applied for other opportunities again, I also got rejected. But you'll find that out of 100 opportunities you apply for, you get 70, you get 90 rejections. You may get 90 rejections and only 5 that work out. And those 5 will be what you actually need. You get. So
say that again. Out of 100.
Out of 100, you may find only 5 or even 1 works out, and that 1 may actually be what you need at that particular time. So I usually don't dwell so much on the rejections. What I do is, when they come, I try and see the areas where I did not do well, and I try to improve. And most times, when I apply for that opportunity the next time, chances are there are like quite a few where I have actually been selected, that like when I apply again. So that first time introduced, it teaches you the whole process of how you can apply for it, and it helps you build yourself such that in case you're to apply for another one, you'll be better prepared for it. So that is how I have navigated it. Of course, there are times when it breaks you, and then just for a few minutes, and then I'm like, this is life. life has to move on, and there will be other opportunities that come along the way. Yeah.
So in the end, you have to stick to the vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Comfort, Ayikoru. Yeah, so let's have the questions, and Spartan is going to, Wesley is going to handle the question session, maybe in this order.
All right. We're going to make it a little bit quick.
One at a go.
All right. So we're going to do one at a go. Be precise. Let's do it. We don't have much time left. You're starting from Maya, right? Maybe asking for salary.
Yeah, I know. I can get you away from here, but you never know. Someone here might benefit as well.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking. So my question is, as an entrepreneur, still, when I started, the biggest problem I had was funding. I had a very beautiful idea, very big vision. Everyone I could tell it about, they could tell me, man, that thing is so big. Get funding, apply for grants and all those things. But I would say maybe it is paranoia. I don't know, and I want to understand this. When it comes to investors, there's this fear in some of us that you can talk to an investor, let down every plan you have, all your visions and everything, and they can steal the idea. And not only me, some people also have that fear. So as someone who is trying to look for funders, venture capitalists and all that, how do you make sure that, or how do you navigate that fear? How do you protect yourself? Because if you're someone who doesn't have the money, someone can still get your idea and fund it or do it behind your back. That's something I want to understand.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to respond to that quickly, and then the next person will answer. One thing that I forgot to speak about was IP. Most times some of us have very brilliant ideas that we have out there, and then we do not know how best we can protect it. So that is where IP, intellectual property, comes in. So as a founder, that is something that all of you need to consider as you are building your startups. Get intellectual property, because when you have IP for your idea, when you have an IP for your idea, it makes it easier for other people to actually invest in it. And then in case someone tries to steal that idea, you can actually sue them for stealing it. So it in a way protects you and your idea from being stolen by other people. So that's one major thing that I would advise people to get. There are different types of IPs. I think that's a topic for another day. But you can read about it. You can do a patent. You can do, yeah. So all those things are things that you can consider. Thank you.
Okay, next person.
Thank you so much, Ma. My name is Bagonza Kusaima once again, and I deal in medical and laboratory supplies. From your presentation, I have been able to learn that you have to first identify a problem before you can actually scale or do something. We all have that ability to identify problems, but there is a problem with procrastination. Have you been able to beat that procrastination at such a young age and been able to break through? Thank you so much.
Thank you. So the issue of procrastination is also not easy, especially if you're juggling many things. You are a founder, you are a student, you are this, you are that. Sometimes it becomes hard for you to deal with a lot of things. So how I have managed to do that is I have a schedule that I follow. So every week, before the week starts, I usually sit down and write down a list of things that I plan to do for the week. And I have a checklist. So once I get done with it, I tick it. Once I get done with it, I tick it.
In Uganda?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so that helps to keep me in check, because there are sometimes when I may forget. So you can use your app to schedule, or you can even you can use Google Calendar. You put a list of events that you're going to do for the whole week. So it keeps reminding you, like in case the time is about to approach, it to be like, hey, you have this and you're supposed to do it. So that's how I've been doing it. Thank you. On to the next.
I have a better solution, but
Yes.
I'll share it tomorrow.
Procrastination.
Good evening once again. My name is Angoko Masi Minfat, and an incoming entrepreneur, and also looking to venturing into projects. Like, for example, I'm coming up with Shihab Uganda. Yeah. And my question is, you talked about mobilization within your friends and all that. And did you encounter any challenges that were overwhelming that you almost gave up on your project? And what kept you going?
Are you saying mobilizing funds?
No, you mobilized your friends to come up with co-founders and yeah. Did you encounter any problems or any challenges that almost made you fall back, and what kept you going?
Okay. So thank you so much for that question, Mercy. One thing I will say is it's never an easy journey as an entrepreneur. Sometimes you may wake up and you even question whether you are on the right track or what you're doing is right. I have had that so many times. But one thing that keeps me going is the vision. Like when sometimes I just sit down and I look at myself 10 years from now and how far the company would have come if we keep on track, and how much impact we would have created if we're actually doing what we're supposed to do. And I just look at that picture in my head. That alone motivates me to keep going, even when money is not there. There are instances where I've had to get money from my pockets to run projects for the company, because I just don't want, because we didn't have at the moment, but I knew things needed to be going and money was not coming on time. So these are decisions founders will often be in. You be in a dilemma whereby you have to sacrifice. Sometimes you may stay late in the night applying for different grants, or sometimes you may have to step up for a colleague that is not available or that is not on ground. So as you are navigating this route of being a founder, just know that you're going to face so many challenges. And if you're not someone who is resilient enough, you may actually fall down. And that also takes me to the part of having supportive friends around you, supportive family and friends. Sometimes they are the ones that may hold you. There are times when you may want to give up, and then they just keep telling you, keep going, or some of them may even give you funds to keep going with the project. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Musao Emmanuel Africa. I'm a graduate student at MAST, and it's a pleasure to meet you physically. I've been hearing about you, I have read about you, and yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you finally. So, my question is there are many opportunities that I've seen. Some of them I'm very eligible. I apply and I get rejected. So I've heard that sometimes it's good to have reviewers. So I don't know whether you are open to sometimes reviewing people's maybe a proposal or any other thing.
Okay, so you're asking if I'm open to reviewing. I would very much love to, in case I have that time and it's within, okay, if it's not, if you inform me like a month earlier, it's easier for me to create the time to review for you, but I'm open to reviewing your work in the event that you need help with it. Is that okay?
All right, let's go. Who next? This line.
Well, I always have one.
Always have one. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm Martin Tumukunde. I'm a fifth year student of medicine and surgery at MAST, but also founding chairman of MBR 21 Investment Club. Yeah. But also I co-founded a software company, and I would ask all of you to download our apps on App Store and Google. Google, is it called Google what? It's a long time. Yes. Yeah.
Google Player.
Google Play Store.
Yeah, Google
Yes,
Play.
yes. We have one is called ChurchPay. The company is called Parallax Software Company Limited. One is called ChurchPay. The other one is called Party Mode, and the other one is called Light Shops Uganda. Those are the three apps. We are really still in the phase of struggling and trying to make things work here and there. Yeah, but well, my question is, one, it's between chasing academics and chasing the entrepreneurial line and founding. So oftentimes it's really hard to know whether you're actually supposed to I know probably you've studied a few things, and sometimes the opportunities that come our way, they don't align with what we actually want to do. I would love to know how you've maneuvered that and how you've tried to maintain the vision in whatever noise that comes around with let me say you're a doctor, you get the opportunities for like research, public health, things like that. There are quite so many, and they might not necessarily align with what you actually want to do. So I wonder how you've leveraged on those opportunities or managed to maneuver and still keep on the lane. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Martin, right?
Yeah, Martin.
Thank you for that question. While you're asking that question, I was actually just reflecting on my life and the choices that I've made.
Which I know.
But one thing I'll tell you is it's not easy. Sometimes you have to sit and have a chat with yourself about the path that you want to take as an individual. I personally, I am a public health specialist. I did my master's in population health sciences, and I am more into research and innovation, and that is something I'm very passionate about. I do clinical work, but once in a while.
Right. So for procrastination is you have to work with deadlines. Her strategy is okay when you have the schedule, you have all these appointments and tasks in your Google Calendar or reminders. And so whenever the reminder comes in, usually 30 minutes, you're like, oh, okay, I have this task. But a typical procrastinator will snooze off those reminders or will ignore those reminders.
True.
But when you have a task, so for instance, myself, I know that I have moments where either I'm possessed by a spirit or something, and I can have 3 hours of solid work. 3 hours, solid work, uninterrupted. Then the next week, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm there, So you have to know those moments that this is what gets me into the mode. But also give yourself a deadline. If you know that you have to achieve something in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
then you're going to chill for the remainder of the 2 weeks, but you know that it's a deadline. And in the last days, you will be forced to achieve it. So, yeah, we will always procrastinate, and we have a society of procrastinators, so you're welcome.
Okay, I have it already. So your question was about whether to chase. You are still confused about how to navigate that area. So I would say follow your passion, and that is what I've been able to do. I am someone that's passionate about research and innovation, and why I specifically chose to do an MPH was because I wanted to improve my skills in research which I believed would be better as I'm developing this product, because we're going to do a series of research, right? So these are things that will work hand in hand, and they have helped me to navigate that path. So you just need to find what exactly you want to do, and sometimes you can even make money in your academia. Like, let's say you're a doctor and you want to start a telemedicine company or something that is within your field and you can leverage on. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Let's have another question.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask. My name is Patricia again, and I run a business for cakes and treats in Bara. You've kind of talked about it. I wanted to ask about a business or a startup having two streams of income. Is it necessary that it must be vertical? In a way that it must be in the same line of business. Your friend, your co-founder, mentioned having a fashion line, and I want to know how easy it is to deal with two businesses that don't have an intersection, because it happens.
Can I give the microphone to her to address it?
Okay.
Prudence, you have been summoned.
I had it. I had a question. She was asking how I'm able to juggle between the two companies, my personal brand and also BuriCare. Yeah, so I think for us, the advantage, I think one thing that also Comfort did not mention is that we have been in incubation for a very long time. Actually, during COVID is when we started our first things. We started Advocates for All, which flopped, yes. We used to we used to go to the communities, and just during COVID we were very stubborn. We didn't sit home. The police would be chasing us to go home, but we would be in the communities wanting to give solution. We were teaching about sexual reproductive rights and all that. So we wrote a grant about it, and they wanted us to form a specific group according to what they wanted. It was supposed to be, we had to come up with another organization. The other one flopped. So we started Jeffa Delivery Kits. So we were making mama kits. So we would reassemble mama kits with additional items. So we had things like, I don't know, I don't remember some of them, but we would incorporate a lot of these things in that. And we got actually Outbox, and UNFPA gave us 18 million that time. That was the first time we actually started learning about pitching. And throughout that incubation, they used to help us and teach us on how to run an organization, run a company, and all that. So these things gave us an idea of like what we need to focus on if we want to start a company, how we can multitask, because we were all students. I was in Uganda Christian University. Comfort was in MAST here, but we would work together. We would always communicate. Now, aside from that, naturally, I'm someone who multitasks. Like I mentioned, I do sports. I train people how to do sports, and I started this business, and then I just have a lot of things. Naturally, I can do so many things at the same time, but also, working with a company, in the beginning, you are not paid, right? You are not paid. You just want to see this company grow. You are not paid. And then you reach a point, you're like, what can I do in order for me to get money aside from this? Because now I am a student, I'm on a scholarship, I need to be training every other time. I need to attend games every weekend. I need to make sure I do my courseworks. I need to make sure I have some money because we are broke at home, you get. So I started businesses. At school, I used to sell like office pants because at least you, they want you to wear like official. So I would go and buy them at 5K, and then I come and sell them at 15K. I would make money. So that is how I also love fashion. If you check my page, you'll see I like people call us slayers sometimes because of that. So I have that thing in me, and I can multitask. If I went through sports from senior one up to, I was able to balance, even up to masters, I was able to balance on those sports scholarship. So it was very easy for me to deal with business. I can't say easy as such because you need to commit. You need to make use of your social media handles. They help you a lot. Sometimes you post things. I post my clothes, yeah? They are expensive. They are 200K. I post my clothes. No one buys them. No one says hello. Why? Because they do not have the money. But the moment they get that money, they will say like, hey, Prudence, the other time you posted a nice outfit. Can I get it? Yeah? But here I'm doing I just post it there and I wait, and I'm doing my BuriCare work. I'm doing my work at KCCM, doing every other thing. When that order comes, when someone asks for it, I make sure I go. I do what? I make their order, I deliver it to them. So I'm able to do all this because in my mind I say, if I cannot multitask, if I can't do all this, I will not succeed. You get it? So even it comes back to the company. We all have the same like vision for the company. So if you have the same vision, even your team, that like she said, you have to get people who you know have the same vision. We were 8 in number, but now we are 5. Others got fired because they were not having the same the same vision. Because we don't want people who are not serious. How can I be working throughout and for you are not working and you want to benefit? And they have other businesses they are giving more time for it, and then there are other people who are giving time for this company, and yet when it comes to recognition or you've won grant, all of them are featuring there. So we have to be realistic with ourselves. Even as you do your own personal business, you need to remember that there is something you're doing together and it needs team effort. And those incubations we went through really helped us a lot. So basically, it's not an easy thing, but you can make it an easy thing. Like you said, you write things that you want to do this week if I have an order and this. And also, my business, I had registered it in Jumia. So you can order Jumia orders, like they give you, check your page, you will check that they already did what someone ordered for this, and within 3 days you're supposed to deliver. So when you check and there's an order, you go and work on it, and you first put BuriCare work aside. You get that money, chap, you come back and make sure you compensate. Yeah, basically that I multitask a lot.
I will have to ask Comfort if you don't come in late.
Yeah, again, my name is Osen Muntu. I'm just a software engineer. I go by very many faces, but what I wanted to ask about, I do some RegTech for FinTech. So here, if thinking about starting a MedTech company here in Uganda, which regulations and compliance should I be aware of, not to override and get challenges with regulatory organizations? And the second one is generally, what are problems MedTech companies are facing here in Uganda? What does it take to solve those challenges, like to make it here if you're doing MedTech company? Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much for that question. One thing I'll say is the regulations on grant for MedTechs. I would say one is the ISO, like it needs to be ISO certified for you to be able to use it in humans, right? So you have to make sure that you have that ISO certification badge. And then you also have to liaise with UNBS. There is another badge that they give, forgetting the name. So you have to like really make sure that you have all those on grant. And depending on that type, because there are different levels, which have different regulations in place. So they will assess the type of technology that you have, and then they will grade it. And then from there, they will tell you exactly which level you fall under and which certifications you ought to meet. So I'm not so sure about all of them. So what I can tell you is just to go and read about them. But I know there are different levels. In case you want to come up with something invasive, then there are stricter regulations in place, because then that device is entering into someone's body. That means it needs to be like really regulated. So there are different levels that you have to go through. And then the other question you asked was about what exactly?
General problems that MedTech companies are facing.
Of course, regulations. They are strict and they are not easy to come across. Like, there are not many companies in Uganda. Actually, like I said, we did not have an ISO certified manufacturing company to manufacture our devices. We had to get one from Kenya. So that's one of the major challenges that we're facing. Another thing is funding. Most of government priority is not in healthcare or even innovations. They don't give money. I was doing my master's in the UK, and I was seeing how much the government of the UK was funding innovations within, like students that come up with innovations. You see them giving like £1 million just to fund an idea that someone has without even having a prototype.
Which may not even mature.
Yes,
Like,
and I was like, I have been struggling with BuriCare from from when I was in third year of medical school. If I had access to such funding, how far would I have gone? You get? So that is one major thing that one major problem that I see here in Uganda as healthcare innovators, or not even healthcare innovators, even other innovators. We have very limited source of funding, which really impacts us a lot. And then another thing is, most times people don't trust what is built within Uganda.
by Uganda.
We actually had that challenge while we were recently seeking approval for our feasibility studies in Isinjiro, and one of the members from the DHO's office that Warren went to meet was like, how can we trust what you have built? Like, won't it kill our babies? So
They don't believe in us.
so they don't believe in the devices that are built in you. So you have to show them that this is actually credible, like it's manufactured by us and it does not have any risks. So that means you have to show them the steps it takes to what? Produce this, and it needs to be really thoroughly tested. So that way you gain their trust, and then you also tell them a lot about what you do, like preach about your story and what you have. Sometimes that is how they gain that trust. And then also getting customers to use your product, and once they have used it and they have seen there is no problem, then it also spreads the news that this product is good. Yeah, thank you.
With the list of all these challenges, it's very clear. Tubafuna visa. Let's have the last question here.
Thank you again for the interesting discussion, and definitely those are very bold moves for someone to take at a young age and pull them off to that level. Yes, I think my interest particularly was in, I should call it target market or key stakeholders, because you're trying to tackle a problem
Guys, can you
that
hear you? Okay. Kind of rebound your question. Repeat your question.
no, I've actually just started the question.
Okay.
Yes, I was looking at either target market or key stakeholders, because this is a problem that affects people at different levels. And ideally, the people who should be able to intervene might not necessarily be your target market. How do you get through this whole, should I say, levels to get to your user? Because I'm assuming the end user is the mother, who might not have a lot of knowledge about the monitoring and what to monitor for, and how do you cater for those other, how do you plan to cater for those other gaps, parts? Thank you.
So for the mother specifically, how we are doing it, we have designed the baby carrier in a way that even a mother that is not learned is able to understand what is going on. So first of all, the carrier, a mother doesn't need someone to help her carry the baby. She can put the carrier on without anyone's help. And then they just need little training on how to, like a little training on how the device works. And by training, that means the skin to skin, and then also being able to, because we have a monitor that is attached on the back. And for someone that does not know English, they can just see the signs. So we have different color codes. We have the red, yellow, and green. So in case there is any derangement in any of the vital signs, let's say the temperature has deranged, it shows red, and there's an alarm that triggers. So even a mother in the village that doesn't understand this will know something is wrong with my baby. I need to take them for medical attention. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We are coming to the close of our session with. Oh, there's a question? Okay, can we have it real quick? Please, real quick.
I need to be somewhere soon.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Anthony Kasheja is my name. Creative Logistics is the company. Yeah, we do design, branding, and marketing, content creation, and all that. So mine is not a question, but from the business you've done and from the experiences that you've had, I would want you to just give us, maybe it could be like a statement, or it could be like a motivation. It could be like maybe you guys to succeed, maybe you need this. Just one sentence, and it's enough for us. Thank you so much.
Should I say the sentence?
Yes.
Don't give up.
Thank you.
Chase the bag.
All right, don't give up. I don't think the don't give up is it's nuanced in a way. I would say don't quit, but it's okay to give up.
At some point.
It's okay to give up and reset yourself and pivot, but do not quit. Once you have a dream or a passion, do not quit on it. But if you're in a different path for the same passion and it's not working out, just pivot to another path for the same passion. All right, so we are coming down to the end of this 14th episode. Sorry, I don't really think we're running out of time. Our guest needs to be somewhere. Is it a quick one?
Okay, let's have it.
Please.
Well, the question came in later.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Hilary Safari, and I have a company called Vivid Bliss Media. I'm a team leader, and we do photography, videography, and live streaming. So my inquiry is about when you have an idea and you've been planning for maybe quite a number of days or months, when do you say that it is time for execution? So I would like to know I know I can phrase it well, but the execution time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for that question. I won't be the one answering the question. One of my team members will.
So, first of all, when you have an idea, you're going to put in place the things that will make this idea run. Like she said, you have to register your company, you have to put in a team, you have to have all those put in place. The moment you have them put in place, you can start at any time. You just have to be ready. You don't have to say, I have the idea. You have the idea. Who are these people who are going to help you to bring this idea come to light? Who are these people who have the same vision as you? What are the requirements? What do you need? Where do you want to register this company? Who are your target customers? You have to put all these things in one place, and then you just start, because you're not going to realize, the impact it will have when you just start it immediately, but it's going to be something progressive. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Thank you. Again, we're glad to have the team from BuriCare today, led by Dr. Comfort. From the team here, I would like to emphasize that you're always welcome to the Entrepreneurs Launch. We are trying to build our social media presence. Like the doctor has said here multiple times, that social media is key. Whatever we are doing here, whatever we are sharing, it's important that we get it out there for people to get to know what we are doing. So our social media handles are now live. We're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. This very session will be uploaded on YouTube very soon. In case you've forgotten something, you can always review it a bit later. So please try to follow us, right? Try to subscribe, try to engage with the content that we'll be posting there. Now, as we come to the end, before we have a very last session. It's very quick, rapid, where we do ask you fun questions. It's just a yes or no. But before we do that, I would want to hear from our membership chair, Emily.
Good evening, entrepreneurs. Good evening, entrepreneurs. You guys don't have energy. You didn't take anything. Yes, so thank you so much, Dr. Comfort, for those insightful sessions. I think she really gave us some detailed information. Yeah, so in case you came late, you can check on our YouTube channel. We always upload these sessions after here. Yes, so you're all most welcome here at the Entrepreneurs Launch. We always meet here every Friday for the new members at 6 p.m. Some of us came late and we found when the other people had already started. So I would love to welcome the new members. Please.
First timers.
Okay.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, then we have new members that didn't introduce yourselves. I'll give you 1 minute. Tell us what you do, who you are, in just 1 minute.
Quick one.
Okay, good evening once again. My name is Safari Hilary Burejea. I'm a team leader, or you can call it the director, Vivid Bliss Media. We offer services, whatever you need that is related to photography, videography, or live streaming. We are good at that. We are located at Portville, room C11. And I'm so much and humbled to be here. And I hope this is going to be my Friday program in the evening. Thank you so much.
I can attest to his quality. He's worked for my sister.
Wow.
Monica.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's a new member.
You've been here before?
Yeah, I've been here before.
No, I mean.
Oh, him, eh?
Kind of.
How many times have I been here? So many. My name is Anthony Kashaija, and I'm a team leader at Creative Logistics, Uganda. Creative Logistics, we do branding, design, website designs, and corporate branding, content creation, and marketing, digital and offline. And happy to be here. I've always been here, though sometimes I just get so busy and caught up. But I follow on social media. Thank you so much.
Okay. So you're welcome. For you're not a new member.
I'm not a new member.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
maybe one small thing I wanted to talk about. I saw someone post about Unit Trust, and they were praising it as the new gold mine. Please, just use it as a bank. Otherwise, it is not for us. It's not for this age. You need to have your money work. It's not a good investment. But also, there's something I noticed. There's a new shift in terms of funding. There's actually some funding from the country, but you need to know where to get it from. Places like Gulu, if you get to the right person, places like Gulu are giving money to people that are doing innovations. I have a number of people that I know who have benefited. Young people, of course, there are people that eat in the middle, but there is money.
yeah, thank you so. Yeah, thank you so much for that communication. So I'm going to pass a few communication from the administrative bit of it. We usually have assignments during the week, and one of the last week's assignment was to have business cards. I don't know if the old members have brought your business cards. You have? Yeah, you bring. Emma, do you have business cards? You bring. So in case you brought your business cards, you can pass them around for people to know what you do. Yeah, it's very good initiative. Then as he brings, he has some communication to make, but let him first come back. Yes, so from the membership again, for the old members, that have been here almost 3 times, we all know we are supposed to subscribe. Usually subscribe annually, and the annual fee is 100,000. We have some good number of members that have subscribed so far, but I can see some faces here. You can still subscribe, and we don't give the fee at once. If you have 20,000, 50,000, it is very okay. Yeah, even today you can please come and subscribe.
Good.
So the other communication I wanted to make, last week we had a privilege to host one of our guest speakers, that was Engineer Anki. She offered to do some in-depth branding session visit, I could say a visit, to some of our members' businesses. Yeah, and that was on Monday. She visited 3 businesses. If you're on group, I think you saw what we posted. So I wanted to give one of the members that was visited just 1 minute for him to tell us his experience from last week's visit. Because I was there with Emma, it was really a very informative session. So Bagons, I'm going to give you 1 minute to tell us your experience with Engineer Anki. She was really hands-on. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Emily. Thank you so much, Madam Emily. My name once again is Bagonza Kuzaima, and I'm the proprietor of Laborameds Company Limited. Our location is Haji Mohammed Kwago Mall, and we deal in medical and laboratory supplies. Our major customers, like in the previous interview, we universities, medical institutions, and all hospitals. My experience with Engineer Ank was very wonderful, and from her facilitation at my workplace, at my company, I was able to put in practice very many things. Like my signpost had been there since 2023 and it was fading. I put a new one. Signages around the business, which was after she had come to my place, and arrangement in the shop. And the last thing that I want to do is a website design. I have seen many technicians here, many people in that field. If you can really do that, from here you can get my number, and because I need to put my business beyond Uganda, beyond Imbarara, and beyond to the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bagons. I've been told we are short of time. Basically, that's it. In case you're also a new member and you would want to join, you're very much welcome to subscribe. We always meet here every Friday at 6 p.m. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Emily. So this is one of the numerous privileges or value that we offer as the Entrepreneurs Launch. Sometimes we have guest speakers here that get impressed by what you guys are doing, and then they do site visits to go and check in on your businesses. If they're impressed, they could potentially partner with you or even fund you or even market for you. So it's always important that you join us every Friday, that you talk about what you're doing. You never know who's going to be your next client. On Monday, I think he will confirm, but I think on Monday, we are supposed to do a vocational tour at Nile Breweries. Now, of course, the slots to go there are limited. So please try to, of course, priority will go to the members. So if you've subscribed to the launch, we may have a place for you. We want to go and understand, the business of brewing, how it works out, how. Yeah, we also have 2 beers each for free. Yes, after the visit, they take you to their in-house bar for 2 bottles each person. It's always a must. So yeah, now we are going to the very last segment because we do not have time today. So, Doctor, we're going to fire you a couple of questions. I think he has more questions than me, but I have just 5 questions. It's a yes or no or the other option. So,
Nothing is right or wrong.
yes. So, number 1, Joshua Baraka or Elijah Chitaka?
Joshua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Will Arsenal win the Champions League this season?
No.
Ah.
All right. Ikigai or Atomic Habits?
Atomic habits.
Okay. Female or male co-founder?
Female.
Woman empowerment. All right. Last one. Angel investments or bank loans?
Angel investment.
Thank you so much.
So I'll be able to fire you some hotter ones, yeah, as we finish. So in terms of work ethics, morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Okay. Work hard, play hard, or grinding 24/7?
Work hard, play hard.
Hey, I thought you were going to. Okay. So in terms of innovation for impact or for profit?
Impact.
Okay.
Impact. The profit will come eventually, but impact first.
Okay. Hobbies, traveling or dancing?
Traveling.
Okay. In terms of founding, so proprietorship or partnerships?
Partnerships.
Okay. Still in terms of founding, one business at a go or many ventures?
One business at a go.
Okay. Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Messi. Okay, so in terms of funding, money or infrastructure support?
Money.
Impact.
Okay.
Money to
You don't
create
want
more impact.
You don't want infrastructure.
You give me the money, I'll build the infrastructure.
Just like another lady. Okay. Elon Musk or Bill Gates?
Bill Gates.
And then final as we close, BuriCare or another MedTech venture?
BuriCare.
Okay. So guys, it has been an insightful session with one and only Dr. Comfort Ayikoru. And it has been our 14th edition of the Entrepreneurs Launch. I'm so happy to have a full house amidst us. And I believe everyone has at least taken a glimpse of knowledge from her or even practical insights. So in case you want to reach out, so we share our handles and contacts, and you can always reach out. She has offered to review for people who are interested, but of course, a month earlier, reach out to her. Those who want to partner, she has a lot of connections, and you can reach out to her as well. Thank you very much. Otherwise, see you then. See you next Friday. Bye-bye. Oh, before we leave, we have a group picture out here. So please endeavor to join. And once again, thank you, Dr. Comfort, for coming.
You too for
All the way
hosting
from
me.
the US.